What's going on, guys? I'm Fuller from Custom Offsets. We got Dustin with us, and we're doing another episode of This or That, but this time he's in his, where are you, living room? Kitchen?
Living room, dining room kind of thing. They're all
Sure.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in my living room hanging out with the dog who's just staring out the window. So another episode of This or That. We got Keaton on the call. You can't see him, though, but he's going to ask us some This or That questions that you guys asked us on the last one. We're going to answer them, and I think that's all you really need to know.
Oh, we have a cool giveaway going on. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, you're wearing the hoodie. I didn't wear my hoodie. Dustin's got it on. Custom Offsets, Superlift, Hostile Nitto, basically a complete build package if you want to get entered to win. We got a new t-shirt, new hoodie, a new super sweet shadow black camo windbreaker. That's been like a really big favorite. If you want to check that stuff out, it's at customoffsets.com/giveaway. And some of the stuff has a square body on it. So we did that.
It's pretty neat.
Ford with a Chevy engine or Chevy with a Ford engine?
Wow, that would just really make people mad regardless of which way you do it. But I guess I would take a Ford and put a Chevy engine in it if we can pick any Chevy engine, because then I'd do like the 7-liter naturally aspirated LS7 out of the Corvette, or do like an LT4 or something out of a Camaro or a Corvette or whatever they're putting that in nowadays. And then, stick it in an F-150 and just make lots of horsepower and lots of noise.
Yeah, I agree. I'm even envisioning something as simple as like a 60s F100, and then just drop a 350 small block in it. I mean, the 350 small block has always been the go-to engine swap, right? Because it's so simple. It fits in literally everything, so.
I think there's definitely a lot more people who put Chevy engines into Fords than there are people who put Fords into Chevys.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reliable rust bucket or new truck with loads of problems?
I think I would take a reliable rust bucket. I mean, I'd like to go as far as saying, give me like a patinaed out rat rod that's obviously covered in rust, but make it reliable. I mean, that would be super cool. But in the sense of this question, I feel like they're talking more like, hey, here's your 04 Chevy. It's rusty, but you know what? Every time you get in and turn the key, it goes. And that's kind of like what my truck is. It's in all right shape. It's banged up. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's been used. But like rust-wise, it's not terrible. But you know what? Every time I get in that truck and turn the key, and I think it helps that it's a 5-speed manual, because it's just like, it takes me back, and I feel good about driving it.
I'm just picturing you banging gears in your truck because I know it's happened before.
Oh, I drive that thing like it's a Corvette. Rev match downshift, just winding it out, smashing gears.
That's funny. I would agree. I think there's something. I do a lot of driving. I put on probably 30,000 miles a year, maybe more. And so a little bit of rust doesn't bother me as long as I'm getting from point A to point B, effectively. It can look as good as it wants, but if it's not going anywhere, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good.
Yeah, and I guess both of us kind of answered it in the sense of like a daily driver. Now, if I was building a show truck, I need that to not have any rust on it. And you know what? If It's got some problems here and there, that's understandable. That's like the Solstice for me, race car, full built, caged, blah, 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 blah. There's no rust on that car. It's beautiful, but half the time it doesn't run, There's always something
I was just
wrong
going to
with it.
say, that's because it hasn't run enough to have rust on it.
Hey, the whole car only has 15,000 miles on it. The frame still looks like it, just rolled off the factory, and it's an '08, so.
Fair enough.
You got that.
Off-road Archon build or show Anthem build?
Ooh, this is a good question. I'm going to go show Anthem build on this one. Anthem's doing some really cool stuff. Now they don't have 22s and 24s, but some of their new 20 by 12s look really good. And I think they could look really, really good in a show setup.
Yeah, like the new, I think it's called the Avenger in a 20 by 12. I actually really like that wheel. It almost looks like it doesn't belong in the Anthem lineup. It looks so good. Not that their other wheels don't look good, but they're awesome. But I would go with an off-road Archon build. And yeah, because it's one of those things where you're just like, it's like two opposites. So you got this big show wheel, and then you're just like, you know what, people, watch me do this. A guy that used to come around the shop a lot, his name's Ben. He had a Tahoe squatted on like 22 or 24 inch American Forces and rubber band tires, and then took that thing off-road. And it just made everybody so mad, and he was like, my truck, my money, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
It's like Whistling Diesel, but not to that extent. I don't know if you just saw him bury his F350 or 250, whatever it is. He just dug a hole, put it in the ground, and buried it.
Nope, that one I didn't see.
Yeah,
Last video I saw from him is where he loaded the bed full of concrete and literally bent the any level lift struts.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Tundra Platinum or Tundra 1794?
Ooh.
I don't know what either of those are.
So Ron has a Platinum. They're trim packages. And I think a lot of people don't know about the 1794. I don't understand the year behind the 1794, like if it has any sort of significance. I haven't looked it up because that's like, you know, way older than when I think Toyota was making the Tundra, so it, you know, by like hundreds of years. So I'm not sure what the significance of that is. However, I like the 1794 package because it comes with a super nice like brown leather interior, and really on the outside you don't get too many other features that make it super flashy. It's like the Platinum plus a super nice brown leather interior, and I'm a sucker for brown leather interior.
It looks, I was just looking, so the 1794 is the year that there was some cattle ranch founded in America. They didn't specify which one. However, it reminds me of the King Ranch. Like, it gets like the brown leather interior, you know, the really nice hand-stitched stuff. I like that 1794. I'm going to go that direction. It's just a beautiful interior on an already decent-looking truck, I think. So,
Cummins welding truck or Power Stroke welding truck?
So really we're going for style points here, because when you build yourself a welding truck and you pop off the whole bed and put a flatbed on it, you know, and just have your whole rig back there, comes down to, do you want the straight six Cummins? Do you want the V8 Power Stroke? And which style do you like best? And I guess I would go with the Power Stroke, and I'd be that guy that gets like, you know, the King Ranch or the Platinum. So you get like the fancy headlights and all that stuff and the super nice interior, and then the back half, it's like a mullet, you know, except kind of reverse, because really your business is in the back and your party would be up front. But that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm a sucker for those LED headlights on the new Power
with the big
Stroke.
C channel.
So nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm envisioning like the new, what is it, 6th gen now we're up to on the 3/4 ton Rams.
I think fifth.
Is it fifth?
That was a nasty burp. These bubblers, man. I think it's 5th gen.
They'll get you. But either way, I'm picturing a new Ram with like a Bradford built black diamond plate bed, and then here's the real question, Fuller: Miller welder or Lincoln welder?
Miller.
Yeah, I agree. We're probably gonna make some people angry though. Miller's built, what, 3 minutes from your house probably?
Yeah.
They're pretty close. So, but yeah, I think the Ram would look really good with that, like the black diamond plate bed. I just think it would look really good. Plus, you can just stuff a ton of wheel and tire in those trucks, even stock. So,
that's true. You would have a really nice like platform to. Some of these guys with these welding trucks, I mean, man, they build them up and like they look awesome, and it's a work vehicle.
Yeah, and they'll take them all over the place on the pipelines and stuff too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
2020 Ranger or 2020 Colorado?
If the Ranger just made more power, I would pick it. Like, I'm waiting for the Raptor Ranger, but I drove it, and like, it's not bad by any means. You know, for a mid-size pickup, it's pretty decent, especially when you compare it to like the speed of a Toyota Tacoma. And I guess, you know, trucks really aren't about speed, but everything for me is about speed. So in that sense, I would lean towards the Colorado, because you can get it with that little 2.8 liter Duramax, which leaves you options for more boost, more tune, more fuel. And if you're going to have something slow, you might as well have it be unique and be a diesel. That was like the whole premise of buying my diesel powered car. I was like, well, if I'm getting a car, I'm at least going to make it weird and get a diesel one.
Yeah, I'm also going to agree. I was watching a video the other day of these guys down in Australia that do a bunch of off-road stuff. And one of the guys in the video had a ZR2 with the diesel. And he was tuned. He put down like 350 horse or something, like 550 foot-pounds, just crazy power out of this
crazy.
little itty bitty diesel. Yeah. So for that reason, I would go that direction. Plus, you're going to get great fuel mileage in a diesel like that as well.
K350 or Rainey's truck?
Oh.
I feel like the people don't know what's happening with Rainey's truck right now because they all saw it get built the first time. They haven't seen the massive amounts of powder coating and chroming that is being done to this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I mean, we're talking powder coated axles, polished drive shaft, like chromed out Gen Y hitch. Why would you do that? Because you're Brian Rainey, that's why. But his truck over K350.
Damn, this has really got you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just hoping you answer first so I have some logic to go off of.
I'm going Rainey's truck. I really like it. I liked it to begin with. It looked super good. And then knowing that he's got all this powder coat and these polished bits and these chrome bits going on it, that truck is gorgeous. Plus, it makes 40s look not gigantic, which is super cool.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'd go with Rainey's truck too. Even though it was a little banged up when he bought it, and he's replaced a whole bunch of stuff. Like it got a whole new bed and all that. And he swapped out the interior now, and he's putting in some fancy interior from like a Limited or something like that in it. And he got the new headlights that make it look like 5th gen, even though it's a 4th gen. But I think what it comes down to is if you're going to go that big, you might as well go all out. And now both trucks are on 40s. But Rainey's truck is the crew cab long bed, and it's just huge. And he's got a top on it now. It just makes it look even bigger.
Yeah, that truck is just absolutely massive.
Bonus question. Who would win in a fight? A gorilla or a bear?
Gorilla's got like brute strength and mass. I feel like bears are a little bit slow. I haven't seen a bear. I mean, they run, but they don't run fast, and they kind of feel like they're top heavy. But they got these claws.
I'm just picturing this big brute gorilla just like RKOing a bear, just over the shoulder. Bow!
Yeah, I think I would go with the gorilla. I think there's honestly not that much debate. I'm surprised this is like a very popular question. I think it's a pretty easy choice, the gorilla.
I think people would be like, well, the bear can bite and it's got big claws. And it's like, but yeah, the gorilla can like pick this thing up and
one
just
punch
yeet
from this gorilla will just like... No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
I'm out.
All right, guys, that's another episode of This or That. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to play along and answer these questions in the comments, that's actually something that some people have been doing, and it's kind of fun, and we like to read them all, because we read every single comment, give most of them a thumbs up, unless you say something kind of weird, then we might not do it, but that's how it goes sometimes. If you need wheel tires, suspension, you check all that out at customoffsets.com. Peace.
Bye.